Giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, and double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers at Great Millstone. Salutations to the men that is teaching the likewise doctrine, and salutations to the hopefully elect, the household of faith. This is your brother Rabbi Yamyan, here to share another lesson. The title of this lesson is What the Hell Just Happened, or What the Hell is Happening. These Babylonians, these Americans are having a what the hell is happening moment, right? As the Express US article says, inside a $250,000 fine for failing to sign up for the military draft by Eleanor Tolbert. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying unto the elect as I use the scriptures to bring edification unto the elect using this article. Not my words, but the words of the Holy Scriptures of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright, so these Babylonians are having a what the hell is happening moment from the poor economy under Joe Biden to the higher cost of living under President Trump, right? A lot of catfishing is going on, when before he got in office, he said that there will be no new wars, right, that he's going to engage in, and he's going to end current wars. He created quite a few wars of himself. He said that food prices would come down, he would create more employment, gas prices would be cheaper, and it's a tailspin. It's a complete opposite of what he said that he would do, and now Americans are furious, right? And with this war that's going on here, they are having a what the hell is happening moment. It says, as tensions surge in the Middle East, the Trump administration has not dismissed concerns regarding a potential military draft. The ongoing conflict between Iran and the US/Israel alliance has claimed hundreds of lives in the Middle East, including 7 Americans. Now, this article is a wee bit days old, so more people have died since then on both sides, right? Across the US, anxiety is mounting over whether the escalation situation could lead to draft requirements. And I want to draw from the book of Luke as the first portion of scripture, Luke chapter 21 and verse 25. And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. Right? Geopolitics, war, famines. With perplexity, when you go into that word, it goes into confusion. Right? The sea and waves roar. Men's hearts feeling them for fear, and looking after those things which are to come on earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man, which is Yahushai, coming in the cloud, his chariot, right? With glory, with power, and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, this is for the elect, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Right, so that last part there is for the elect. And as I read in verse 26, the men's hearts are feeling for fear for the many atrocities that's going to come upon the earth. Not only the things that Yahushua mentioned in Matthew the 24th chapter, but also things mentioned in 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and also creatures, hidden creatures that the Most High has beneath the earth. There's gonna be a rise, and men shall see them and shall be afraid. And also Esau on the left hand side created his abominations. He's gonna allow to roam the earth, right? His different drones, his different robotic animals, so on and so forth. So it's gonna be a terrifying things that's gonna come upon the face of the earth. That's gonna shake a lot of people to their core. You know, these things is nothing yet, and they are afraid of a military draft, which is going to be surrounded around terrifying times. The hour of temptation, the mark of the beast, Jacob's trouble, earthquakes. So it's going to be a heavy time to be alive in that day, you know. In December, Congress approved an updated National Defense Authorization Act that introduced automatic selective service registration for certain Americans. Yeah, see, just a side note, it says full list of countries with travel warnings for Americans as Iran war rages on, and spring break flight prices surge as Iran war drives up fuel costs. And a lot of people are not paying attention to these things, you know, just want to go on vacation, jet set here and jet set there. Look at what is happening. Even if you do not fly in the war zone region right now, you are still being affected. You understand? Safety wise and economic wise, when you take these planes to go to these different destinations, even if you take a road trip, it is still affecting you. And a lot of people is not paying attention to what's going on. Continuing on, it says during a Sunday interview with Fox's Maria Bartiromo, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt addressed the matter. She confirmed that President Donald Trump has not eliminated any military options from consideration, which could encompass a draft, right? And the draft is going to happen per Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8, where Moses said that he would gather the nations in the region of the Levant, right? So these things, you know, are going to happen. So they are going to be gathered up there. All right. Continuing on, it says mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they are going to see their sons and daughters get involved in this. Bartiromo stated, "What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign until now." Leavitt responded, "President Trump wisely does not remove options off the table, though she clarified that implementing a draft is not part of the current plan, right, but it's going to be used later on at some point." It's important to note that draft registration doesn't mean immediate deployment, but it's an option. The U.S. hasn't implemented compulsory service since 1973. Reinstating the draft would require approval from both Congress and the President. However, there are consequences for not registering. And these are some of them here. What are the consequences for not registering for the draft? Failure to register for the draft could result in a fine up to $250,000 or 5 years in prison. And these Americans, at least 60 to 70% of them right now, do not have $1,000 for an emergency in their account. Right? So to pay these fines or be in prison is like a death sentence to them. Right? Number 2, ineligible for state-based student loans. and grant programs in 31 states. Ineligible for federal job training under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Ineligible for federal jobs, up to 5-year delay for immigrants, U.S. citizenship proceedings. Right, and he's going to do these things because he is nearing the end of his rulership, and he is being pushed back into a corner. So he's going to throw everything at the kitchen sink to extend his rulership. All right. This is Second Ezra's. See, we are seeing the end of this man's kingdom. So he's gonna make a more hurried decision. More atrocities is gonna come from him as this thing draws to an end. This is Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, "For Esau is the end of this world." Right? So Esau is ruling. The so-called white man is ruling the entire planet. This is why he could say that, he's gonna go in Cuba. It's an honor for him to go into Cuba and do with it what he wants. Right? Go into Venezuela and do with it what he wants. And now he's over there in Western Asia, trying to do what he wants, but it ain't really working out doing it, the way he thought. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So immediately following after Esau's rule is the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Which is of the house of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So are we, the 12 tribes of Israel. So the rulership of our Lord, King David, right, and new Israelites is after Esau's wicked rulership. Who is obligated to register for the military draft? And these are the things that these Babylonians are concerned about in these economic trying times. As per current legislation, all male U.S. citizens and male immigrants between the ages of 18 to 25 are required to register for the Selective Service System. This system maintains a database of individuals who could be summoned if a draft were to be reinstated. The proposed law would enable the government to automatically enroll eligible men, eliminating the need for self-registration. You had it done with that. That was a thing of the past where you had to go and do it for yourself. Alright? Upon your 18th birthday, and for those entering the country between that age group, I believe they had like 30 to 45 days to get it done to register for the system. Officials indicate that certain groups could be prioritized if a significant crisis necessitated a return to mandatory service. Who is exempt from registering for the military draft? Whilst most men aged 18 to 25 must register, there are some exceptions, including non-immigrant men in the U.S. on student, tourist, visitor, or diplomatic visas, men serving on active duty, cadets, or midshipmen at U.S. service academies. Certain military colleges are not required to register. Certain groups are still required to register, but are seldom actually called upon. And a lot of people is gonna sift through. A lot of Americans is gonna sift through different exceptions and stuff, that they could use to avoid a draft. It's gonna be crazy, man. It says this includes clergymen and male students preparing for the ministry, sole surviving sons and only sons are also required to register, though they could potentially receive deferments if a draft were reinstated. At present, only men are required to register, but this may change. So you see, a lot of confusion and uncertainty, but women are going to be thrown into the meat grinder as well. The Senate Armed Services Committee has advanced a version of the defense bill that extends registration to women, whilst the House version does not. So things are going to change, and it's going to change rapidly. All right. And the Most High is speeding up the time, man, because with all the stuff that this man is doing, he is doing the most. No animal, no whale in the sea. You understand? No flesh should be saved, man. You know, so the Most High is moving this thing along quickly, so he could take this man out of power. And I'll end here in Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. And it says, except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So things are moving because the Most High is having mercy upon his elect, those who have truly and sincerely repented for their sins, right, and would be seen blameless upon the Lord's visitation. So they are going to be able to escape the persecutions that are to come, the famines, the wars, the pestilences, and various atrocities and wickedness that's going to come upon the earth. They're going to have the mark of exemption, the Torah, right, that's going to grant them deliverance from said perils. Right, so the days are also being shortened to remove Esau out of power, because the Most High were to leave him in there, ain't gonna have nothing on earth but dust and ash, man. Right, so these Americans are having a what the hell is happening moment. Until the next time, shalom.